Live by the sword, die by the sword. That's what my uncle says. Now, of course, I'm talking about New York Attorney General Letitia James, who's getting her taste of lawfare with these recent fraud allegations against her. Now, of course, she's resorting to the liberal playbook to fight back. She's calling her critics names, then hitting her constituents for money, saying that she's going to use it to fight back. She called the whole matter nothing more than a revenge tour, and then set out a money bid to her supporters in the form of an invitation to an event calling for contributions starting at $500 and climbing to an eye-popping $18,000, the maximum allowed by New York law in support of her 2026 re-election bid. And you guys are going to laugh at this. The event page actually says Letitia James is fighting for our rights every single day. This is our opportunity to show Letitia that we have her back. Seriously, they're trying to paint Letitia James as this anti-Trump heroine when we have actual evidence that she, in fact, may be guilty of the exact same crime that she tried to prosecute Trump on. The Federal Housing Finance Agency referred James to the Department of Justice for potential prosecution for allegedly falsifying real estate documents in connection to properties in Norfolk, Virginia and Brooklyn, New York. Meanwhile, a report from White Collar Fraud also highlights how James's financial disclosures inconsistently reported various loans on a separate Norfolk property since 2020. Now, Letitia James said all these allegations against her have no basis in fact, even though there are primary source documents showing that she may have made misrepresentations on real estate paperwork in potential violation of the law. For one, at the Norfolk property, James allegedly signed a specific power of attorney document in August 2023 in which she declared that she intended to make the property her principal residence. Now, that document was signed as James was serving as the New York's top cop and just weeks before her trial against President Trump began, and it does not appear that she ever moved south to the property. So what gives here? Now, it may be that Letitia James isn't afraid because she knows she's got backing of a corrupt system behind her. It wasn't too long before this that New York Governor Kathy Hokll was accused of using her power over state judges to implicitly threaten the president. The president, you guys. White House sources claim Kathy Hokll told Trump that she controls the judges during a February meeting in the Oval Office. Now, think about this, guys. President Trump has already called for Letitia James's resignation. Why hasn't Kathy Hokll done the same? She wasted no time in asking for Governor Cuomo to step down. And wasn't it Letitia James herself who said that no one is above the law? Now, I'm telling you guys, the whole state stinks, or at least their justice system does. Even members of Congress are wondering why Letitia James isn't being prosecuted yet. So here's Congressman Jim Jordan discussing just that. Watch.
Joining me now, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, House Judiciary Committee Chair. Congressman, now, given Letitia James's crusade against Trump, where no benefit, by the way, in that case, no benefit accrued to Trump, and choose this novel application of a fraud statute, shouldn't an investigation go forward here on a fairly straightforward issue?
Well, it sure seems like, and this may be the biggest irony I've ever seen in American politics, that she's now, it looks like she's engaged in the same thing she charged President Trump with. I mean, turns out you can't have your principal residence in Virginia and be the Attorney General of New York. Turns out you can't on a mortgage form say that your dad is actually your husband, and you also can't say that you got a 4-unit property that's actually 5 units. Those are the 3 things that it looks like she did over a long period of time, and yet she had the gall to go after President Trump. You got to be kidding me. So, yeah, I think this is real. We'll see. Her comments so far, she's been kind of quiet. Of course, she does a typical thing the left always does. The left will you know, they always accuse us of what they're doing. And the other thing they always do, the left will tell a lie. Trump did something wrong. Big media will report it. Big tech will amplify it. And then if you tell the truth, they call you names. And that's exactly what she did. I think she called President Trump and his administration bullies for simply pointing out that it looks like she lied on these forms, and she did it to get better terms and a better rate on the loans. So she was doing it for personal gain, and you're not supposed to do those kind of things.
Of course, James is now resorting to calling her critics names and saying that this is nothing more than a revenge tour. Instead of answering the fraud allegations head on, the New York Attorney General chose to paint the Trump administration as bullies and tyrants. She said, "We will not be silenced, we will not be bullied. We will not bend, we will not break, and she will not bow to anyone." And that the office of the Attorney General will continue to stand up. But let me tell you guys, the people are not buying it. In fact, I remember there was this time that Letitia James was greeted with boos and Trump chants by the fire department. You guys remember this? Watch.
Oh, come on, we're in a house of God. First, simmer down. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for getting it out of your system. I want to thank Commissioner Kavanaugh and Chief Hodgins for...
Now, of course, fire department officials tried going after the firefighters who booed James, maybe to her request, but their labor union head stood up for them. Andrew Ansborough, who serves as the president of the Uniformed Firefighters Association of Greater New York, said, before they find anyone liable, they are going to have to hold themselves accountable for failure to supervise. And by the way, this is right around the same time that Letitia James was taking her victory lap after winning a $454 million civil fraud judgment against President Trump in February last year. Well, now there's a new sheriff in town, and this time it's Letitia who's about to face the fraud charges. The Trump effect is real, guys. People are going down like dominoes, and we're seeing karma happen in real time. So yeah, guys, let's get it. Here's former federal prosecutor Andrew Chowaski weighing in on James's federal criminal referral over mortgage fraud allegations. Here, watch this.
The Attorney General's office responded saying this: Attorney General James is focused every single day on protecting New Yorkers, especially as this administration weaponizes the federal government against the rule of law and the Constitution. She will not be intimidated by bullies, no matter who they are. Andrew Chowaski joins me now. Is Trump playing his own form of lawfare in New York?
Well, I think they say people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Right. It's beyond ironic that the allegations that she's now facing stem from the exact same types of mortgage fraud or loan type fraud that Trump went through that incredible civil trial on, where he defended himself, and he said that those banks and those financial institutions that he dealt with had acknowledged and had their own fair opportunity to look into and do their research. The allegations against Letitia James are not quite as friendly to her, and they look quite damning. Now, the DOJ is going to start their investigation. That's going to take some time. I don't know how many resources they're going to put behind that, but if these allegations that are being put forth turn out to be true, she is going to be facing the same sort of bankruptcy and turning over of her assets to the state that Donald Trump had to through that trial.
Really, all we're asking for is to have her treated the same way that she treated Trump. I mean, she did say that no one is above the law, right? I mean, it sure does seem like she's running scared of these allegations, because instead of meeting them head on, she chose to do an interview on Spectrum News 1. Now, according to her, in this heavily biased interview, the allegations were baseless. The allegations are nothing more than a revenge tour. But instead of providing proof, she just kept pointing the finger at President Trump once again, saying that this is all because of her securing a $454 million judgment against Donald Trump. And when she was asked to address the substance of these allegations, James declined and said that she will address the allegations in the appropriate venue and at the appropriate time. Now, really, guys, it wasn't much of an interview at all, considering that both James and the interviewer suggested that the motive of James's referral to the DOJ was for the Trump administration to generate headlines and media buzz. The documents speak for themselves, though. Pretty damning, too. It actually says on the specific power of attorney document, I hereby declare that I intend to occupy this property as my principal residence. But so far, we haven't seen any proof that she ever moved south to the property. The declaration was made under oath, and the document effectively deputizes one of James's relatives to act for her in getting a mortgage loan for the home. The explanation for fraud here is that the primary residences tend to receive more favorable loan terms than a secondary home because a distressed borrower is more likely to start start defaulting on loan repayments for a secondary property before falling behind on repayments for a primary residence. But when the press visited the property, it definitely looked like someone other than Letitia James was living in the home. A lot of neighbors say that they didn't even recognize Letitia James at all when shown a photograph. And one neighbor bluntly said that the residents of the home do not include the lady from New York. Wow. So if the allegation that Letitia James misrepresented her intent to live at the property is proven true, she may have violated real estate fraud laws. And if she truly did move into the property as her primary residence, Letitia James may have violated residency requirements for her office in New York. So which one is it, Letitia James? Now, if this has you fired up as much as it has me fired up, don't just sit there. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. That way you are first in line every time that we bring the receipts, guys. This is accountability on full blast, and we're just getting started. Trust me, guys, it gets even wilder from here. So let's continue. I mean, see, you could claim it was an honest mistake if it were just one property, but documents are now showing a pattern of what looks like mortgage fraud by the New York Attorney General. So a 2001 certificate of occupancy for the Brooklyn property states that it is a 5-unit dwelling, but Letitia James allegedly mischaracterized the property as a 4-unit dwelling for decades, including as recently as 2020, again, potentially looking for more favorable loan terms. On the second Norfolk residence, Letitia James appears to have inconsistently reported various loans and mortgages in her financial disclosures. For example, some loans show up in some years' disclosures while not in others, and there's no external independent proof of 2 disclosed loans on the property in public records, as is typical. So the 2 loans simply may not exist at all. Now, again, Letitia James said in an interview she will not be silenced. Well, she has all the chances in the world to speak up now and defend herself against these allegations, because we're not talking about President Trump's word versus hers. It's her word against the documents. It's her word against the facts. So yeah, good luck with that. Instead of actually providing evidence against these allegations, Letitia James chose instead to hit up supporters for big bucks, calling for contributions starting at $500 and going all the way up as high as an eye-popping $18,000. This is the maximum amount allowed by New York law in support of her 2026 re-election bid. Now, guys, according to this event page, Letitia James is fighting for our rights every single day. Do you guys buy that? Are you thinking Letitia James is going to bat for us every day? It goes on to say that this is our opportunity to show Letitia James that we have her back. Seriously, unbelievable, guys. Then again, she may be following the lead of her governor, Kathy Hokll, who's being accused of using her power over state judges to implicitly threaten the president. Now, according to White House sources, Kathy Hokll told President Trump she controls the judges. Now, of course, Kathy Hokll emphatically denied making the statement, but the sources said that the president received the conversation as an implicit threat related to his appeal against a civil fraud ruling in February 2024 by New York Supreme Court Judge Arthur Engoron, who ordered Trump to pay. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below. $364 million for allegedly inflating his net worth 15 years ago to secure better loan terms. The very same one Letitia James was so proud of prosecuting. You see how all this is connected, guys? A legal source familiar with the Oval Office discussion said that the governor asked the president to drop his opposition to the $9 congestion tax that she opposed on New Yorkers, abandon a gas pipeline that he favors, and provide federal funding for wind projects and an upgrade of Penn Station. They said that Kathy Hokll is making demands while keeping the appeal hanging over his head. So for them, it feels like extortion and blackmail. Now again, Kathy Hochul's office denies the whole thing, but again, the facts speak for themselves. The extraordinary 14-month delay in deciding President Trump's appeal is almost 3 times longer than the average wait in the New York appellate division first department. Legendary trial attorney Joe Tacopina, who acted for Trump in other cases, said it's obvious that they are dragging their heels and that the 14-month delay is insane and obviously another special treatment for Trump. Now, Kathy Hokll did not appoint any of the first 5 department judges who are deciding President Trump's appeal: Diane Renwick, David Friedman, Peter Moulton, John Higgett, Lynette Rosado. But it was Kathy Hokll who elevated Renwick to presiding justice in 2023, and the other judges rely on Kathy Hokll to reappoint them every 5 years. So let that sink in. What do you guys think? Is corruption finally going to meet its karma in New York? Drop a quick yes or no in the comments down below, guys. Let's get a conversation going. Don't leave without checking our recommended videos. Definitely some great discussions there too. As always, appreciate you guys hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you next. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below.